what Maxwell knows, that one that is on his earlobe, it's artificially placed.
I can even see he's smiling.
Yeah, you see, because
He's smiling.
Yes, because we are talking like we have had enough talking here. This is my brother. So why can't we go just straight to the point and contact the DNA? Why are we wasting time?
I believe he's not going to.
Are
you planning to tamper with the results?
I'm not planning to tamper with anything, please, Mr. Stanley and Mr. Doctor. And for your information, Mr. Doctor, keep my wealth out of your mouth, please. Keep my wealth out of your mouth. And I don't fight losing battles. Just get that.
Nimekukeba toka mikononi mwa ofisi, nitakupenda kama navyopenda bisi. Baby, love is blind and you know that. Wako nimekwama, nimekaza nati, usisuse asilani nikushike night. Ala kifuani mwangu mi wapo light, usiende speedy, love take it slow. Baby, you are only one, zima hatata, nikushike night. Gizani, unameta mine, despite chini mifukara, inakuahidi hautoparara. Kimapenzi siwezi kung'ora, nikikuchiti nipige bakora. Despite chini mifukara, inakuahidi hautoparara. Kimapenzi siwezi kung'ora, nikikuchiti nipige bakora.
you cannot repeat the DNA of your fine, or you cannot change the DNA. It has been done, and it has said Maxwell and the young man, your name I'm forgetting. Usually. That, well, you and Maxwell, your brothers, nobody will put any crack. It will be your brothers. And now the sharing, the way Maxwell is saying that, well, he has the 10 million he can give and what, it will be a disadvantage to you because you'll have to go down on your knees to Maxwell. And now, see how you can share this that Maxwell has. And remember, you cannot come back to my office based on the sharing of the wealth. That one now.
Does that involve a court order?
Definitely. That one now, after the DNA has been done, now that one now we give it to the court. Doctors, they don't have any say after the DNA. So you talk with Maxwell. Maxwell, remember, you are here. Young Maxwell, are you there?
Yes.
Maxwell, you are here because I'm doing a cancellation. In fact, I'm trying to bring peace in the family. And you have walked in here because you are asking about the same. And Maxwell, you are like, you are willing and unwilling. And Maxwell, your voice tells us you are unwilling and willing. So what you do, Maxwell, go talk to yourself and see. Because you know, when a patient comes to me, clinically, he explains to me everything that he's suffering from. We call some of these problems symptomatic, some of them asymptomatic. Somebody may have a problem that symptoms are not showing, and they are affecting, it can even make him die. Just like the other day, we were laughing about this issue and people were even saying this, but it was not laughing, but people are really... Remember, people are told there is corona. Other people are saying that, how can there be corona na wanatembea tu? Sinaona wako tu sawa. Somebody says, sinimeka karibu naye si wako tu sawa, tuko tu sawa. But remember, we were told there are asymptomatic signs of corona, and there are symptomatic. So your problem, and Maxwell, it could be asymptomatic at this time we are talking. And the symptoms we are not seeing because we are not fighting. But in Maxwell, the way I'm seeing him, the symptoms are so much in him, and there are symptoms of hatred in him, of which when you come here, this is what I want to help you solve. So Maxwell, Maxwell should know that this problem of hatred, he should put it off before the DNA is done. Because you cannot say, I'm willing for the DNA to be done. What about after the DNA?
What next after the DNA?
The life will continue. What else?
So you hear that, my young man here? You hear what he's saying? You are almost crying, but you see him, he's feeling good because he sees that, well, he owns everything, and it's you who is crying for whatever he owns.
Daktari, I would like to ask this question. Is there any biological proofs that can show that maybe, let's say, they are not maybe, they don't share the same dad, but maybe his father and his father, they are brothers. Could a brother and a brother share the same child, such children with the same birthmarks at the same point?
What I know, we have what we call the family lineage based on given parts of the body. You may find something like the tallness. You may find something like probably the webbed feet. You may find something like probably the ear folds. You may find the dwarfism. They may be dwarfs, they may not be that tall. And other things like, let's say, so-and-so is clever, like that family, we were bright. We don't talk about that because we have people who acquire this. We have things that are acquired. You can acquire what we call the brightness. You can work hard at school and you become bright. You get an A plane. It cannot be said that that family had an A plane. That's why we are related. Because this other family can be working so hard also to get the A plane. You see that? And also another thing that we have to know, and Maxwell has to know, that the only thing that we have to talk about at this given time, the young man here, we cannot say that, well, you also own 10 million or get 10 million. That one is not acquiring. You can only acquire that by either doing things that are not, because you cannot say at your age, you can say that I can also get 10 million. So if you can say that at my age, I can also try to get a degree in this and this, you can do and study and you get that because that's something that you are acquiring. The wealth that Maxwell has is acquired wealth. He has not worked hard for it. This is why when we are talking based on reconciliation, he's not willing for the reconciliation, If it's what wealth that he has worked hard and it's a family wealth, you'd have find that, well, now where he is, he can be talking like, oh, brothers, let's sit down. You see, he's not even talking to the gentleman here as a brother. And he has not even addressed him as a brother. And I think when the talk starts, I heard of Ujama somewhere.
That is now my worst fear. What if it happens, we're brothers? How will I survive? That is why I'm 100% that Maxwell can't be my brother. Because if he is truly my brother, then there could be some other things. But now, this is too much.
You see, Maxwell, there's something Maxwell is trying here to tell us, and we are seeing it on a white paper. Maxwell is saying that huyu jamaa. So you see, even if you are in the house now, you hear the husband saying that
Ujama, and he might even end up killing me, saying that I killed my brother. You see?
So you cannot call your brother Hujama.
Morio. The so-called Morio.
The word they're using, Mori, I don't know what it means. What does
Mori, it means a brother in Sheng.
Oh. So you see, Maxwell, what's happening? Try also to know that this that we are talking about, it's based on reconciliation. This you acquired, Maxwell. And Maxwell, don't meet me one day and say that, Daktari, you are talking as if you are siding with my alleged brother. I'm not. The only thing I'm trying to help Maxwell Continues. And remember that mark that you are saying. If I say that that mark, it's you who placed it there, because I can even see that mark, actually it has a scar.
It is just like this. This is the mark now, doctor. How can this birthmark of mine?
No. What Maxwell knows, that one that is on his earlobe, it's artificially placed.
I can even see he's smiling.
Yeah, you see, because
He's smiling.
Yes, because we are talking like we have had enough talking here. This is my brother. So why can't we go just straight to the point and contact the DNA? Why are we wasting time?
I believe he's not going to.
Are you planning to tamper with the results?
I'm not planning to tamper with anything, please, Mr. Stanley and Mr. Doctor. And for your information, Mr. Doctor, keep my wealth out of your mouth, please. Keep my wealth out of your mouth. And I don't fight losing battles. Just get that.
you get that. So I was telling you that, well, the way Maxwell is talking, Maxwell has told, in fact, he has even shown, thank you so much, Maxwell. I talked of this and said that Maxwell, the moment you walk out of my office, Maxwell will hate me forever. Because you see, now,
I'm sure he won't come for you.
definitely, because you see now, Maxwell, when you walked in, you and the young man, you came in that you wanted to be reconciled. But now, the moment now we have touched on the wealth, Maxwell has remained frowned. And Maxwell does not, in fact, he's not even willing now to discuss anything. We were discussing something that is medically placed. But now Maxwell, he's only at the wealth part of it. and Maxwell, I'm sorry that if you walk in any of these doctors' offices, I may even call them and say the moment they see you, they send you out, because you see, you see what's happening.
Mr. Doctor, you are allowed to do so. You are allowed to do so. But know this. There's this one point you are forgetting, that money has power and money talks. Just know that. You may make as many calls, even make to India to an extent of making outside our country. But money talks. Just the moment just know that money talks and money has power.
Daktari, if I can ask this quick question, can a father have two different sons with different mothers who are having the same birthmarks? Is that possible?
What's happening is this thing, don't even discuss about that. Get the body language of Maxwell, get the tone of Maxwell, and get the tone of the young man. These things tells you very well that Maxwell is not a brother to this young man. Because even the voice tells you they are not brothers before you even take the DNA. Why do we go into all these things and you can even get that? There's a brother of this young man who walked in here and walked out. The way they were talking, the voices were same. And Maxwell, his voice, you can even hear the voice. So you know some of these things you did not to force, because you may spend so much in DNA for no reason.
He's saying he has the money.
Because you see the body language, the tone of the voice is telling you very well that this somebody who is saying that, well, I'll not give this my wealth to any of this family. So you see, and by giving birth with Doreen or impregnating Doreen, he was trying to tell you that you people, I don't want you.
Exactly. Is it true, Max?
Mr. Stanley, please, why can't we just go straight to the point and stop negotiating about my wealth always, please? Because you are basing your point on my wealth. Now, how does my wealth concern you, first of all?
The wealth that will be paying for this thing. This young man has no money.
Of course, giving out money, that is not a big deal. Giving out money, because that's what I do. That's what I normally, it's a normal thing.
Let me ask you something, Maxwell. What if we take that strand as something of sort, then go somewhere else and perform the DNA? Will you fall?
I won't follow, because I'm sure about what I'm saying.
But you have said just money talks.
Of course it talks. Why? Why not? It talks.
So that means also tamper to that?
Take my samples and he will take yours too. So what's your problem there? I pay for everything. What's your problem?
You're diverting attention.
Daktari.
Now, me, what I know, it's very simple. You have said that Maxwell had a child with Doreen. It's very simple. Why do you go to Maxwell? Take the child of Doreen, do a DNA with that child, and do a DNA with yourself. Still will get Maxwell. Why will you get to Maxwell? That one, in fact, you are going around for no reason. The child is there for Nani from Maxwell. Doreen has a child from Maxwell.
1 year and a half.
1 year and a half. That child and you, the DNA will be done, will know.
So we can even use that way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And remember the DNA of Maxwell, that if Maxwell was your brother, remember that child has the blood of Maxwell. And that blood of that child will still come to you. There's a possibility because these are brother and these are... So, it's something that goes in circle. Unless this child, it was what we call a surrogacy. Probably Doreen carried this child from another person and Maxwell forced her to carry the baby for him. You see, it happens. Or, the semen can be obtained from some man and, of course, to impregnate another woman. So if it was done that way, then we cannot get Maxwell. So if you see...
Is that insemination?
Yeah, it's just like AI. So that's why you see Maxwell talking of all these things, because he knows that where will you get me? And you see he's saying that, well, he's able to do... me also have to tell you, some of the patients, they walk in and they are even ready. When autopsies are done, somebody is killed and so and so has been killed. Others even complicate these things. And a repeat can... That's why we have the government pathologists. Because if you have private pathologists, anything can happen. Because money can buy
results.
Yeah.
Nimekukeba toka mikononi mwa ofisi, nitakupenda kama navyopenda bisi. Baby, love is blind and you know that. Wako nimekwama, nimekaza nat, usisuse asilani nikushike night. Ala kifuani mwangu mi wapo light, usiende speedy, love take it slow. Baby, you are only one, zima hatata, nikushike night. Gizani, unameta mind, G-Spite chini mifukara. Nakuahidi hautoparara, imapenzi siwezi kung'ora. Nikikuchiti nipige bakora, despite chini mifukara. Nakuahidi hautoparara, imapenzi siwezi kung'ora. Nikikuchiti nipige bakora.